Okay, so I've let that dry, so we are ready to pretty much start with our final coat. And for this, to get that really pretty interesting luster that an oil painting has, and to create that sort of visual interest on the surface, which will really only be seen up close, but it is enough to really add another dimension to the painting. I'm going to work with my gel medium. This is just a very soft gel. It's not necessarily a gloss or a matte, it's just a gel medium. Then I do have my matte medium, which I'm going to add and mix together on my palette. So this is my matte medium, this is my gel medium. My gel medium is a little thicker. It's kind of like a gloss gel medium, but it's not quite as heavy as that. And this is going to produce a really pretty, it's going to give us a little bit of texture on the surface and also a really pretty luster because of the components of those mediums. So I've mixed that up. And I'm going to apply this. I've done this before with a palette knife for more of a textured finish. But for this one, I'm going to apply this with a small flat brush. So picking this up, and I haven't wet my canvas at all. I'm working on it dry. And I'm going to start in the corner here. And I've just applied a little. And I'm just going to use my back and forth movement on this painting. Now this is going to dry clear, so if it looks like you have some white marks on your painting, don't worry about it, because this will dry essentially clear. It's going to have a little bit of just the tiniest bit of color, but really it's going to be clear. So it's not going to mess with a painting that's a light color like this. You can pick it up a little thicker in certain spots and a little thinner. Now if you go over this with this sort of back and forth brush sweeping expressive technique, you're going to retain all those brush strokes in the surface of your artwork when it dries. So you'll be able to see it, especially when standing and looking at an angle or in certain light. And I'm just taking a little and sweeping it back and forth with my brush like this. You can vary the brush strokes back and forth. I did notice one day when I was walking by an oil painting I had done that it had a certain luster that the acrylic paintings just didn't have. And I was, you know, I love to work with oils. They're a little more time consuming and difficult just in the fact that they have more odor, etc. But the water-based oils are really nice to work with. But I do most often work with acrylics, and I wanted to recreate that sort of luster on an acrylic painting. So playing around with some mediums. And there are others that will do this, of course, but these are the ones that I found that I like, that I had in stock. They work for me. So they were the lucky winners. And again, that's just the gel medium and a matte medium mix. No water, no other mediums. And you don't need a ton because we're putting a very thin coat on the surface of this painting by just using a flat brush and this sort of expressive back and forth stroke. Laying down little bits of thickness here and there just for the tiniest bit of surface texture. You'll get sort of an impasto look with that, but it's not going to be a white paint or anything like that. So we've gone over this entire painting. Always stand back and look to make sure you've got your edges and your corners. Those are the spots that always tend to get missed the most, at least with me. So I like to go over those essentially at the end just to make sure I've reached every little nook and cranny. And standing back to make sure that I have not missed any spots in the light. I'm going to go ahead and let this dry really well. And that's essentially it. That is going to be our final painting. And when you do this, you will find that your painting takes on a really unique, beautiful luster. Even on just a very minimalistic painting like this, it adds quite a bit. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you learned something. And please join me for my other tutorials. I have several on, various techniques and abstracts and landscapes and textures, etc. Thank you so very much for joining me in this, and let me know what you think. I always appreciate feedback, and I hope to see you on another tutorial.